Hey, migration has been happening. People have been moving from South Africa going back to Zimbabwe. People have been moving from Botswana going back to Zimbabwe. There's nothing new on what's happening now. That's what a lot of people are saying. I've been reading the comments and people have been saying a lot of things concerning this trend, this topic of migration or of relocation in the context of my videos and Israel. You might not be aware of it, but what's happening now has never happened before. The trend, the spirit, the movement is way more rapid or yakanyanyisa kupfura zvaitika kudhara. And the major reason, if you're not aware of what's happening, is to ask yourself, what's really happening? What's causing? Probably you need to know what's causing. And in this video, I want to show you one of the things that I feel we have been ignorant of. One of the push factors or the pull factors that we have tended to have been ignorant of. And if we don't take heed of this thing, it will also kill even the next generations. Movement across the borders has been happening. We talk of just 2 days ago, we heard that about 50 Afrikaners from South Africa were moving back to the UK and received as refugees. Why are they moving from South Africa going to the States? Why? What happened? For how long have they been in South Africa? And why are they moving now? We also heard in the news last week when that Julius Malema, one of the leaders of a political party in South Africa, was denied a visa into the UK. Why was he denied a visa? Is he not an African leader? Why was he denied a visa? And lastly, we actually heard that the care visa has been stripped off. You need to be a professional. You need to have other qualifications in order for you to get a visa in the UK. And West still they're saying for you to get permanent residence, you should have stayed in the UK for more than 10 years. Which means 10 years, not 5 years, not 3 years. No matter how skilled you are, you have stayed in the UK for 10 years. Which means someone who was preparing papers to go to the UK as a care worker, that opportunity has been closed, no matter how many dollars, pounds that you've spent so far. Things are changing. Governments are now considering more. They are now being more concerned about the welfare of their own people, which is number one factor. Governments akupa simba rakawanda mukuisa policies anechekuita nekuprioritize its own citizens, which is not a bad thing. So this is one thing that I want to talk about: being relevant, having the skill that is required at a certain season, at a certain time. So around 2010, 2009, when there was an influx of us Zimbabweans coming to South Africa, there was a need for construction workers. There was need for road plumbing, whatever workers they were needed, because we are about to get into the World Cup, the 2010 World Cup that was hosted by South Africa. So a lot of people from Zim, from other areas, and Malawians, vakauya chibva tatoda kuenda ku South Africa kunoshanda. And what kept us here was because of the value that we had. We had value, we had skills that were needed by that time. So even if you didn't have a degree, you would come and you would work. All that was needed sometimes was manual labor and a bit of some skilled labor when it comes to the construction and the building of roads and infrastructure during that time. What keeps you in a country, what keeps you accommodated in a foreign land is your relevance and also the value that you're giving. So that's why when we say Zimbabweans are moving out of Zimbabwe, doctors are moving out of Zimbabwe, we call that term brain drain. There's a brain drain that's happening. And those people who are receiving the migrants who are coming with the skill are benefiting from that skill. But looking at 2025, doing this video in May, do we still have the skill that is needed and that is relevant at such a time as this? Tichiri kudiwa here, or we are like that person ari mu relationship nemunhu ari kuti takabva kure hatigoni kurambana nekuti takabva tese kure, but the other partner achinatsoona kuti takabva tese kure ndizvozvo zvichida tatosvika. Ndo ukama hwemazimbabwenzi akawanda nezviri kuitika muSouth Africa. Takabva tese kure kuna 2010, tane ma16 years tine maZTP. Patakambopiwa 4 years taiti we have been given this 4 years, tichapusha pa 4 years, tichaestablisha zvinhu. But isusu tapiwa 4 years, hatina kugona kuinvesta kumba, hatina kugona kuinvesta mueducation kuzvidzidzisa kuti tive neskill rekuti rinoramba riri relevant even zvinhu zvikachinja zvatiri kuita zvikavharika, maroads avapo, infrastructure yavapo, hatina kudevelopa ine skill inoramba iripo ichiva relevant panguva dzose. Takabva tadya mari tikaenda tikanoita zvatakaita, vamwe tikaroora tikaita mhuri. So now 16 years later we are in 2025. The government is putting policies that prioritizes its own citizens. Iri kuisa policies anoita kuti citizens ave pamberi. What used to be skilled labor yakunzi iya ina basa zvinogona kuitwa nani wemunyika yedu. So this is one major thing that is now forcing others now to relocate. The moment you become irrelevant in a country, the moment your skill become irrelevant in a country, you are then not welcome in that country. So the next option is for you to relocate, kudzokera kwawakabva, nekuti zvawanga zvichikupa value munzvimbo iyoyo, zvawanga uchibhadharirwa munzvimbo iyoyo hazvichadiwe, hazvisiri relevant. So most of the people who are moving are being forced nekusava relevant. Let's go to the biblical times. Bible rinotaura chaizvo kuti in the time of King Nebuchadnezzar, we have Anna Meshach, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and Anna Daniel. They were captured by King Nebuchadnezzar because they were able-bodied men. They were men of skill. Vane zvavaigona, so vaigona kubenefita nyika yavapamba. Let's go kwana Joseph. Joseph aenda kuya zvinotonzi naFaro with that time. What can your brothers do? And these are shepherds. Vane zvavanoita. They were needed in the area, in the land, because they could offer a service. And if you have a skilled service that you can offer, your value increases. A foreigner is kept in a foreign country because he has got value. And your value, inowanika because your skill is scarce. Saka panguva ino mazimba, tiri kunze kwenyika, tiri kunzvimbo dzakasiyana. Wakagona ere kubuilda a skill unoita kuti uve relevant even kunze kwenyika. Izvezvi as you are watching this video, kana usina skill inoramba iri relevant even madynamics achiitika zvinhu zvichinja, chenjera kuti you either be forced to go or you go wega but uri broke usina chinhu chawinacho. Mentality yedu yati maZimbabweans kana kuti African countries akawanda, whereby we failed to equip vana vedu nemaskill ezvinhu zvinobatika. Pandingoti skill apa rega simplify, yandikutaurira hama dzangu, mabasa chaiwo anofanira kudzidziswa vana. Mazuva ano we're talking of IT because ndo zviri kuitika. They have to be a skill IT, cyber security, ethical hacking, the things zviri relevant panguva ino mumwaka uno. Tikutaura nyaya yemechanics, mwana ngaagone mechanics, ngaagone mabasa emaoko, ngaagone skill, ngaagone something, ngaadziswe something. Even kwete mwana chete iwewe wacho wakauya, ini ndakauya muno South Africa ndichisona, ndaita embroidery. That was my skill. I could do embroidery. I was doing embroidery, and vana machembera aibva kuZimbabwe anga asahode zvinhu kuZimbabwe. They would come and know kuti kune mukomana anoita embroidery kuSouth Africa. They would come vondipa basa ndovaitira embroidery machira avo, vototengesera maZulu avo, ma-South Africans avo. So I was relevant in skill iyoyo, and I was the only person in Durban around 2010 who could do filling embroidery. I was the only embroiderer by that time, and my demand was high. I had value. But come to around 2012, when I left embroidery, we were more than 50 embroiderers in South Africa from Zim. And some locals were starting also to learn the craft. So which means my value decreasing. But instead of continuing and trying to force my relationship with the economy environment, I had to think of another skill. Then I had to do something else that was paying. I had to try driving. I had to get a driver's license so that I remain relevant in the economic environment, so that I remain relevant munyika ihoyo. Nikuti value ndo inoita kuti ndirarame, value ndo inoita kuti ndiwane salary. I remember sometime around 2013, I went to Bible college. I did 3 years. That's for my calling. But even ndabva Bible college as a pastor ndichishanda, I noticed kuti andigone kurarama semfundisi, ichirarama nematithe nemaoffering in a foreign land. I also started enrolling. Ndakaenrolla. Right now I'm doing my BCom in IT, majoring cyber security and ethical hacking. Ndakutotanga kuita zvinhu zvine chekuita nekudevelopa my skill so that I remain relevant ndiri munyika yeutorwa. So ukaona usisiri relevant, wa lose value. Saka tinopedzesera tane vanhu vari ku foreign land skill yavainayo yavanenge vakutongosarirwa nayo ndiye kunoshanda mumba achikorobha achiita maid akashandira murungu akashandira mindia andika ndo skill yavanayo. But is that enough for you to leave a legacy? Is that enough to sustain you and for you to build something chinooneka kuti ndechako? Is that enough to give you satisfaction yakanyanya? So ndopandiri kuti inini kana uri kunyika yeutorwa uchiona kuti hausisina value, before you are chased away, relocate. Before you are pushed away, start to move. If you don't want to move and you feel comfortable in that land, build yourself, develop your skill, zviumbe zvidzidzise, so that at the end of the day you don't go back home a broke person. You don't relocate a broke person. There are instances where you see a person relocating to Zimbabwe, but you begin to think with anichi. Some are proud of it to say haini ndakauya ndisina chinhu ndingori nebhegi rangu. Zvakanaka, ndo zviripo panguva iyoyo, but to be honest, that is not encouraged. Develop yourself in a foreign land. Develop your skill uriko. Even pauno move, that move and relocation should be voluntary, not a move yokuti uri kupushwa kuti chienda hausina any other option. So panguva yokuti relocation nema movements ari kuitika, tanga kutraina vana vako, begin to equip your children kuti nemakore anouya, a degree is good. I'm a buyer by profession. Ndichitobva kuchikoro ndakatoita purchasing and procurement, purchasing supply management. So I'm a buyer by profession. But is that title relevant? Is that qualification relevant kunyika ino yandiri? Ndamfundisi ndakutonoita buyer, ndichitombotounza yaka 15% tip tikuwanise tender. Is this still relevant? Nepandiri, nekwandiri. Hazvishandi, it's not relevant. So I started doing IT. I can do work IT, I can work remotely. Ndiri kutry kuadjusta because the environment is dynamic, it's ever changing. I also have to develop myself so that I remain relevant in any environment, in any situation. My advice to you is, I know you want to relocate, but don't relocate a broke person. Usa relocate usina chinhu. You would find kuti kukosha kweskill kuri papi. Munhu wese ada kumuvha achienda kuZimbabwe ari kuti ndinoita danga rehuku. Ibasa remaoko, that's a skill. Ndinonopfuya huku. Takudzokera pakunonzwisisa ene kuunderstand the importance of having a skill. Ndichadzidziswa kurima paprika, ndichadzidziswa kurima macarrots, ndichadzidziswa kurima chakati. Skill inodiwa, kuva neskill kunodiwa. Let's develop vana vedu, let's develop my families edu kuti tive neskill. Izvi taakuzviziva nekuti tiri kunze kwenyika ende tazopushwa nemacircumstances nezviri kuitika, but kune vasati vapushwa nevari kufunga kuti vachazoda kubuda muZimbabwe, because some people are saying muri kuita mavideos muri kutivharira toda kutouya. You can come mozvionera pamuno nefocha, but usauye kunze kwenyika usina skill yaunogona, because skill ikashayikwa nevalue yako inoshayikwa. Ndicharamba ndichikupai mavideos ano pandenda ngofunga kuti chabata icho nechocho, tobata icho nechocho apa nepapo. Chatiri kuda ndechekuti hama dzangu tiende tinovaka nyika yedu, tiende tinoita investment. You might not go physically, but uri kwauri ikoko unogona kuita set up something chinodevelopa nyika yako uye chichidevelopa rudzi rwako nedzinza rako. At the end of the day, home is the best. Unogona samuvha now, unogona sarelocate now, but at some point in time unogona kuzomuvhwa iwewe wava mabhonzo, but kumba kunongoda kuendwa ende kumba kunoda kuvakwa. Ngatimbotaurira nenyaya. Chii skill yipi yakusustaina muno muforeign land? Chii chauri kuita chauri kuona kuti chakuchengetedza uri muno? Chiripo here kana kuti hapana? Na chiripo share in the comment section. Uye kurudzira ungade kupa kune mumwe munhu ari kufunga kurelocata kubva kuZimbabwe achitouya kuforeign land, ora kubva kuforeign land achienda kuZimbabwe. Ndizvipo zvaanofanira kutarisira on the ground. Rangu zita Godwin Chirume. To meet again in my next video tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe. God bless you.